Welcome to the controls demo. In this video, we're going to walk through how to create a new control including test steps from start to finish. By the end of this demo, you'll understand how to list a control and prepare it for testing. To get started, let's navigate to the control library. Click RCM, referencing the risk and control matrix, then controls from the dropdown. The control listing serves as the central repository for all controls, ensuring that each control, whether entered directly or linked to project work papers, objectives, or frameworks, is tracked and managed consistently. In the upper right corner, click Add Control. Let's begin with the first required field control ID. This must always be a unique identifier. For our example, we'll enter CM01. Next, we'll enter an external audit control ID. This field is only used if your external audit firm uses some other number than your internal control ID. Now let's select the control owner, who is the individual who bears final responsibility for ensuring a control is properly executed and documented. Click the drop-down icon. Select Ella Baker for this example. The control title is a short label for the control, which should be a few clear words. Now add a control description that explains the specific activity performed to ensure accuracy, completeness, or compliance, and should clearly identify who performs the control, what actions are taken, when the control is executed, and the purpose of the control. Now that we have a description, we can also augment it with AI by clicking the AI icon. Review the suggestion and make any edits needed. Once you are ready to accept the language, click Use Suggestion to apply the changes to the field, or you can cancel out if you want to retain the original language. For subcontrol, we'll choose CM0103, because this control is specifically focused on a subset of production change control, rollback, and backout planning. Select Change Management. Next, select Production Changes as the subprocess. Next, select SOX as the audit area. We choose SOX because production change controls typically support financial systems and IT general controls. Now let's assign a division. Since this is an IT-driven control, we'll assign it to IT. For this example, we'll skip control operator and control instructions, as they're only required for control monitoring projects and not standard control setups. Next, let's scroll down to the nature section below. First, we need to determine if this is a key control. Since it helps prevent unauthorized changes to production systems, a significant SOX risk, we'll mark it as key. The next field, External Audit Reliance, indicates if auditors rely on this control for their audit program. Set External Audit Reliance to Yes. This is often the case if an external audit control ID exists. For our control frequency, we fill in how often our control is performed. Click the drop-down icon. Select Annually. We're not covering control monitoring for this demo, so we'll leave monitoring frequency as None. Control classification is used for major types of controls, such as finance, IT general controls, or cyber controls. Choose daitaGRC, as this is an IT general control. The control method specifies the type of activity used to enforce the control to prevent or detect errors or unauthorized actions. Since change approval is the core activity, select Authorization for the control method. For the threshold field, since there's no numeric threshold for this control, we'll enter NA. This next field shows if the control prevents issues before they occur or detects whether an issue has occurred after the fact. Select Preventive, since this control is meant to stop unauthorized changes before they occur. Next, our control type will be IT-dependent manual, since it involves both system records and human approvals. Finally, as this is not a fraud control or a management review control, we will put No for both of these fields. In control mapping, we can link the control to compliance frameworks. Here we'll map the control to the ISO framework, specifically a .12.1, which has the change management requirement. This ensures your control aligns with recognized information security standards. The assertion field indicates which financial audit assertion the control supports based on how it is designed. Though ITCCs indirectly support all financial audit assertions, we will only include one in this example. Select Completeness/Accuracy. Add a compensating control reference by clicking the drop-down. Compensating controls mitigate some or all of the risks addressed by the control. We'll use the top control in this example. This control does not directly map to financial statements, so we will leave the value as none. The IPE section documents system-generated data or reports used in testing. Let's begin with the Data Sources dropdown. Select ServiceNow as the data source, since it's the system of record for change requests. Next, click the Databases dropdown icon. The organization's warehouse management system is supported by an Oracle production database. Select Oracle Database. Since the Oracle production database is hosted on Linux, we'll select it for the operating system. We'll leave supporting files empty, as that would be used for files to permanently support the control, which aren't very common. Enter change record exports as the key report and change tickets as the dimension, which are the type of data the control evaluates. These identify the exact reports auditors will test. Before leaving this section, record the IPE test ID as well. For our TOD walkthrough section, we will outline the control's design, showing how production changes are submitted, reviewed, approved, tested, and deployed while maintaining segregation of duties. Let's fill it in now. Now that we have a description, we can augment it further with AI. Click the AI icon. Click Use Suggestion to apply the result to the walkthrough field. Let's add a row to our source documentation by clicking the plus icon. As you can see, it gives us 4 columns to fill out: the title, source, who it was provided by, and a description of the documentation. Let's fill out a few examples now. Finally, we are ready to create and document our controls test steps. Click the plus icon. Click Save to create our new control. Your control is now fully built, mapped, and ready for testing. Thank you for walking through this demonstration on how to create a control.